Hi YouTube, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can find us on the web, caltoncutlery.com. So, today I get to show you off a special knife, special to me anyways. A while back I did, I think I called it the 10-year plus review on the benchmade 940. I've been carrying that, well, I've got two of them, and I've been carrying one or the other every single day. Well, maybe not. There's been some times that I've flown, traveled somewhere else, and so I left it at home because I didn't want to, lose it or get it taken away or something. But pretty much every day I've carried one of those two knives for the last, I said 10 plus years. It might have been 12, it might have been 15, it might have been, 9, I'm not sure. But it's been quite a while. And one thing, I love the overall package. The 940, might as well show it to you right quick. The benchmade 940 is, in my personal opinion, the best combination of carry knife that I've found so far. The axis lock, absolutely an amazing lock. Never had it fail on me. The total package, the weight, the size, everything has been about the best I've ever found, which is why I've carried it for so long. Now, I didn't shoot that video, to promote. Well, I did share it to promote the benchmade 940 because I'm in love with the knife, but I'm not getting any kickbacks from benchmade or anything like that. It's just a hell of a good knife that I've carried for a long time and have enjoyed an awful lot. The one thing that I never was too impressed with the 940 was the steel that they make the blades out of. I had one in 154 cm, and I sent that one back. For $25 they put a brand new blade into it with the new S30V, which I think is at least from them, I think it's an improvement over the old 154 blades, but it still wasn't anything that, I didn't think it was anything to write home about. I mean, it did okay and everything, but it wasn't, I'm a knife maker. I spend a lot of time tuning heat treats and grinds and everything to suit me personally. So, in that last video, I showed it was wearing the old blade. And I said that one of these days I was going to get around to making a new blade for it. And just the other day I had some free time, and I went ahead and I forged a new blade for it. I chose a billet that I actually forgot that I had made. It was tucked up underneath the shelf where I keep my Damascus billets. And I thought, I'm going to go ahead and make a new blade for this. I've been threatening to do it for years. I'm just going to go ahead and sit down and do it. So I forged out a new that looks kind of clear. Forged out a new Damascus blade for my benchmade 940. This one, I believe it's 200-ish layer, random pattern welded steel. A lot of folks call that Damascus. Some folks get kind of upset when you call pattern welded steel Damascus, but it is what it is. So now I have about the perfect package of, the handle, the lock, and a blade out of my steel with my grind, my edge geometry, all that kind of stuff. And what I wanted to share mostly was how easy this thing was to fit in. I mean, I'm not really a folder maker. I do make some on occasion, but that's not my, what I do most. So I went ahead and took that billet, forged it down, and made two blades because I was pretty sure that I was going to screw at least one of them up, and making two of them I figured I'd have a better chance of getting everything fit in just right. And here's the second one. The first one that I did, it it just fit right up and came right in. But that there is the old blade. That's the S30V one, and you can see how much I wore that blade down just through work and use, honestly. Most of the times I will wreck an edge long before I actually wear it out. So I do tend to put an awful lot more wear on blades than the average user would. But just so you can see how the whole lockup works, this pin right here is for your thumb stud, your pivot pin hole. This angle right here rides up against the stop pin. This angle right here runs up against the movable pivot, this port right here. So when you pull this back, a pin, that's a pin that normally sits right here, so it locks between those 2 points. The shiny part right there is your bearing surface, where, you know, like I said, this blade right here had, I don't know, 5, 6, 8 years worth of use, so it's burnished pretty smooth right there. Your you know, your where it rides up against the sliding pin right here to close, and then this portion, how it sits in the blade or the handle like this. This portion right here will be your stop. It will contact against that same, you know, your lock pin right there, and that controls how high or low the blade sits in the closed position. So if it was really proud, it would sit like this. If it was really recessed, it would sit really deep. I ended up getting this one just a little bit too low, so when it snaps back into the handle, you'll be able to see a little bright spot. Now you probably won't be able to see it, but that's from it striking the inside of the liner. And I drilled, you know, the thumb stud hole, screwed up and drilled it oversized, so it's got a little bit of slop in it. But it was amazingly simple to fit this blade up into that axis lock. So I was really surprised at that. But anyway, so I finally went ahead and did it. Finally made a new blade for my Benchmade 940. So if this is a knife that you really love and you've been carrying for a long time and you want a nicer blade for it, I haven't decided. I've had a couple of guys tell me that I should make these, you know, for sale. I'll have to look at that a little bit more, because I think that would require them sending me the handle and fitting up the blade to that particular handle. I don't know what the tolerances on that are. And honestly, I haven't decided if that's something that I'm really all that interested in. I mean, I know I love my blade for this, and I'll probably make a couple of more blades, you know, in different steels, just because I carry this every day. So it would be a real nice way to test out different heat treats, different geometries, different steels, you know, to just make a new blade for the knife that I carry every single day. But anyway, so it's kind of an update to the Benchmade 940 review, and also just because, well, hell, I just wanted to show it off. Well, we'll have one more look at the pattern. It did come out okay. I think this was a practice billet is what it was, and that's why it was tucked up underneath the bench. But these, so we've got 200-ish layers. I always say 200, you know, whatever-ish, because the outside layers sometimes get burned up. So you might say that it's a 200-layer billet, but, you know, 5 of the outside layers got burned up, so it's less than that. But these real dark lines right here are where I was putting a fresh piece of 1095 in. This is 1095 and 15N20. So in between So you start with your starting billet, you stack it up, tack weld it, forge weld it, and then draw it out, cut it in half or in thirds, and then restack it. Well, each time I did that, I put a fresh piece of 1095 in there, and that's those darker layers. But it came out okay, and seems to be cutting pretty good, and working pretty good for the work that I put this blade through. So anyhow, if that's something that you're interested in, I guess you can leave me a like or a comment, and if I get enough of them, maybe I'll make a run of them. And if not, then contact your favorite maker. Send him a link to this video if that guy wants to call me up, or email. Emails usually work best. And get my thoughts on fitting the blade up in there. I didn't use a surface grinder because I don't have one. Just used hand tools and sandpaper and stuff, and it fit in pretty easy. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.